I've been logging every mile like a soldier on a mission, trying to build a version of myself with better vision. I stopped the late night drinking and I'm eating like I should. I'm finally doing everything I told you that I would. I went down to the park to keep the new me on the track, just waiting for the moment when I finally get you back. I was thinking about the letter that I'm working on tonight, explaining how I finally learned to treat a woman right. I was visualizing us beneath the branches of the pines, reading all the hope you're doing well between the lines. I was so caught up in maybe in the man I tried to be that I didn't see the present moment coming toward me. I was rounding out the bend where the asphalt meets the lake, thinking about the promises I'm never gonna break. Then a sudden blur emotion hit me squarely in the chest, putting all my quiet contemplation to the test. It was a head-on collision with the rest of my life, cutting through the memory like a jagged little knife. I was building up a tempo just to prove that I could change, but the view from the ground doesn't look so strange. She reached for my hand and she pulled me from the wreck of a year spent living with your shadow on my neck. I was bracing for the used to be and what might have been, but I'm finally breathing oxygen again. And she was wearing neon yellow with a warm and easy grin, apologizing softly for the state that I was in. I reached out for her hand and felt a shock go up my arm, a different kind of voltage than your quiet, steady charm. We both started laughing at the clumsiness of fate, standing in the sunlight while the ghost of us could wait. She said, I'm usually faster, I'm so sorry for the hit. And I realized in that moment I wasn't angry for a bit. I didn't check my phone to see if you had sent a text. I wasn't even worried about what we were doing next. We walked a couple laps just to make sure I was fine, and I felt a different kind of sun beginning now to shine. My heart was a compass always pointing to your door, but I don't think I'm looking for that hallway anymore. The gravity has shifted and the world is feeling light as the neon yellow runner starts to blur my sight. It was a head-on collision with the rest of my life, and I'm dropping all the sorry and I'm dropping all the strife. I was building up a tempo for a girl who isn't there. Now I'm catching my reflection in a stranger's golden stare. She reached for my hand and she pulled me from the wreck of a year spent living with your shadow on my neck. I was training for a ghost, I was running for a lie, but I'm looking at the color of a brand new sky. We stood there by the water for an hour, maybe two, and I didn't spend a single second talking about you. I told her I was training for a race I never run. She laughed and said the finish line has only just begun. I didn't feel the heavy or the center in my chest. I felt like a man who finally earned a little rest. I asked her for a number and she wrote it on my palm. A sudden bit of weather in a year of hollow calm. I'm walking home now and the house is still the same, but the walls aren't screaming out your used to be name. I'm putting down the hammer and I'm putting down the grief, finding in a stranger a permanent relief. I spent 100 nights rehearsing what I'd say if I ever saw you walking down this very way. I practiced every sorry and I polished every plea. I was living my whole life down upon my knees, but as she held me up and brushed the gravel off my skin, I felt the heavy doors of us finally closing in. I didn't need your mercy, I didn't need your grace, I just needed to see a brand new human face. It was a head-on collision with the rest of my life. I'm stepping off the edge of the struggle and the strife. I built the man you wanted, but I'm keeping him for me. I'm setting every memory and every promise free. She reached for my hand and she pulled me from the wreck. I finally took your shadow off the back of my neck. I was running for a ghost, I was running for the past, but I finally found a rhythm that is gonna last. I'm leaving your ghost in the shade of what we were. The man I used to be and the parts of me that hurt, but I'm walking into the light as the man I've become. Goodbye.